Righto, so we've got the front bib off the cruiser and she's on the slab. It's not too bad. A little bit of rust in this bottom section as we saw the other day. So I think I'll cut probably the whole lot of that off. There's two pieces sandwiched together, which has never been a really good idea. It's not too bad. The inside one, got a hole through there. I'd like to try and keep those the wire retainers on there as well. Anyway, so we'll try and cut that other section off. Oh, excuse me. And then see what it looks like underneath. Might have to cut the outside section off and then repair, put a few patches on the inside section, or it's pretty thick too, or cut them both right off on the fold, because the front part is not so bad, so cut them on the fold or just on the other side of the fold, so there's pretty well no distortion, and just put I don't know, it looks like it's pretty thick. Put a 3.5mm or just a single piece through where there's no sandwich. Sort of be better. Lose a bit of the authenticity, but it'd be better. And then these have got to be, they broke. 3 of them broke. No matter how much WD and how careful I was, the nuts were just locked on. The steel, I think the steel back in 1967 in Japan wasn't really that good. So I'll repair them. It's broken there too. That weld is broken. So I think I'll do all the repairs, and then I'm so fond of this molasses bath. Throw it in the molasses bath and that, it gets in everywhere. It gets all the rust out. It's bloody great. Good for these sandwiched pieces because it gets in there and cleans it right up. You can get the phosphoric acid sprayed on afterwards, and then I just think it's fantastic. And if you seal it, well, I can't see it rusting again at all, as long as it's sealed. No oxygen, no rust. Anyway, that's what we're up to. So just a bit of an update where I'm at. I've been cleaning up the bib panel. Put the new section in along the bottom there. I just went with a 5mm solid piece, just from one side right across. Just welded that in. It's all nice and square, got it flat. So now I'm just stripping it. I had to move the molasses pit because the poor neighbours, they complained, which is fair enough. It was getting really smelly for some reason. So I'm stripping this one. I just used a stripper disc to do all the outside. It's easy to get to. And now I'm just using a bit of paint stripper, and I just sort of wire brush it in there, and it'll clean up okay. And then I've made myself a new molasses pit, a little bit more discreet, a little bit smaller, because I don't need to put the bonnet in or the roof. So I've got the, what have I got in there? The right hand door, top door frame, and the mesh grill. Both doors are finished now, fixed up all the rust, tidied up the top frames. This is the mesh grill out of the donor vehicle, just had to weld up the patches that sort of fallen out. So I'm going to put that in the molasses. The molasses does a great job of that, cleans it up brand new. The other one's in there. This is the door. You've seen this before. I fixed up the restraint, whatever you call it, check for the check strap. It's pretty much, well, it's rust free. It's just got a bit of surface rust, because that's what happens when it comes out of the molasses if you don't treat it. But I've taken most of the other paint off. I just want to put it back in the molasses because the molasses does such a good job where the panels are laminated in the edges, so I wanted to get right in there, clean all that up, and then I'll use the metal ready, and I'll clean it. This is for the inside of the door. The outside is no real big deal. And then I'm going to FJ45 the inside of the door, and I'll just pour some in the door and just run it around all the seams. Just sort of widgie board it. I'll do that with both of them. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And then once I've cleaned all the majority of paint off this, I'll stick that back in the molasses as well, just to get, it just gets in all the areas that you just cannot get otherwise. I reckon it's great. Pressure wash all the molasses and crap off, give it a metal ready. It's just a great surface to paint on. I'm really confident that there's no surface rust or deep rust or any, well, molasses doesn't get the deep rust out, but it does clean up the metal. So yeah, it's coming on quite well. Just got the door out of the molasses pit and just sort of having a bit of a look at it. Looking at the damage, so that's where the check strap has been ripped out of the side of it. So I have to put a patch in there and fix that back up. It's got a bit of a stress there from the hinge, I'd say. Probably something related to the check strap as well, where it's just been over opened or extended. There's a few like little stress cracks here and there, but other than that, the inside of the door anyway is pretty good. I mean, it's all stained brown, that's okay. What I'm going to do is do the repairs. The staining is the flash rusting from taking out the molasses pit. I haven't sprayed this with the phosphoric acid to halt that, because I want to do the repairs and I'll throw it back in the molasses pit. That'll clean it all back up to bright metal, and then I'll get it out. It's a bit of a stress fracture there. I'll get it out, a little bit of rust there, and phosphoric acid it, and then primer it. And there'll be no more welding, so once I've got him primed, that won't get burnt, because that's what's been happening before. I've sort of phosphoric acid and I prime it, and then when I'm welding it, I'm burning the primer, and it's just, I don't know, just going around in circles a bit. The outer skin is pretty good. A little bit of drama there. The worst thing with this door is, and both of them are the same, the two skins have the inner and outer skin is separated. That's supposed to be welded shut, and you can see it's sort of got a bit of a bow in it if you look along there. So to get that, the good thing is when it's finished, it's straight, so all I have to do is sort of weld it back in, weld those braces back up, hold a straight edge on it, get it perfectly straight, and which I don't know, might be not, because it's got cracks both sides. Focus. It's got a crack there, and then another crack on this side there, and all through there. The top frames are sort of okay, they're a bit bent, but they're not rusty or anything. So all in all, this door is probably the easiest one. I used this one first, got a nasty sort of a ding there, I don't know if you can see that, just in there. But I use this one because for some reason the paint stripped better than the other one, so the other one can take a little bit longer in there. So that's the plan. Weld it up, get it all straightened up so the welding's finished on this door. Put it back in for a day or two, clean all that flash rust off, pull it out, phosphoric acid it, then do my bog repairs, Nicky repairs, and then put it in primer and grab the other one. That's where I'm at. So this door, it's got a lot of stress fractures around the back where the top frame bolts down to it. And as you can see, it's not very straight. So I'm going to strap that piece of channel to it, make it straight. And because the top here is so bent, it's all stress fractured there. I've made this sort of piece of angle. So I'm going to slip this in the top of it, in underneath, and weld through, drill some holes through the top of it and weld that through just to stiffen it up. I don't really like doing this sort of stuff
I don't like re-engineering. I think the Toyota guys knew what they were doing, but because the metal's so weakened, I just don't think I'm going to be able to get the strength back in it. And I'm not going to know until I sort of get the door back together and on the hinges. It'll be all painted then. I can't stiffen it up then, so I'm going to do it now. The other door was the same, so it's obviously a bit of a weakness with them. I'll take that bend out of it. I'll take that fact that it just sort of wobbles around so much. I think putting that angle in will stiffen it right up. So that's where we're at. So I got the two frames, all those stress fractured, welded up. I just put 6 holes in the top there, and I welded through that little angle. So hopefully that's stiffened up the top. So just let it all cool down, take the clamps off and see how we went. I was lucky enough the other week to find an old school jack. So I sort of should have took it before and after, but anyway. I've had it in the molasses for 2 weeks, got all the rust off, cleaned it all up. And now I'm painting it, and then I'll assemble it. Just a little bit of detail work. So today I'm taking out the the left-hand front door out of the molasses bath, the front panel, my spare mesh grill, and the left-hand door frame. And I'm just going to whack this tank in. And it's just got a bit, well, it's probably a bit more than surface rust, pitting in there a bit. So this is a perfect job for the molasses, because you can't, if I tried to grind this off, there'd be no, you just make go straight through the holes. So I'll just see, I don't know if this is going to be usable or what, but we'll see how it turns up. We'll see how the other panels look when we get them out. You can see that, it's like brand new metal. don't know if you remember this panel. That is like brand new metal. That's that rust section I put in along the bottom. So now I'll just spray this with the metal prep, metal ready I think it's called, to stop it from flash rusting. And that one there then is ready to prime. All I have to do really is keep that wet for 20 minutes, I think they say. It doesn't really need cleaning, it's already clean. Just to get a bit of the molasses residue really, which is not much. I don't know if you can see in there, but that's what I like about it. You can't wire brush, can't get into those areas, but it's because the molasses just runs in there. It's cleaned it up. Great. That's perfect. I don't know if you noticed, but the molasses pit's a lot smaller now, so I had to move it, so it was a bit smelly. Anyway, I'll let that soak, pull the door out. Door panel. See how that turns out. A bit of blast. He says sarcastically. So let's see how that works. I don't know if you can see that, but the mesh is like brand new. I don't know how you would get the paint off other than paint stripping, wire brushing. I don't think there's a greener way other than the and less use of the Spanish bull rider or manual labour to clean parts up. I'm going to stick that back in the pit. There's just a little bit here and there. And I'm in no hurry to get this because I don't prime, I don't epoxy prime this anyway. I direct paint it with Pour 15 because I can put a, what do they call it, top coat finish of Pour 15. I don't have to prime. And I like that because you can't, I don't want to put white primer underneath the black paint because it's stone chip. So I just put the black paint on direct, and I think that's what Toyota have done too. I can't see any primer here, just the black finish. But geez, it does a good job. So now that I've pressure washed all that paint off, and there's no rust whatsoever, it's great. I'll just pop it back in, it'll make short work of that. Only be a few days, we'll get rid of the rest of that paint. So all good. So the process continues. What have we got? This is the door. Door frame. I'll give that a quick blast. for a 67 FJ45 with less rust in them than these, let me know. That's the patch I've been using. Brand new. This way it gets right down into that seam where the two panels meet. And oh man, the inside of the door is as clean as the outside. Amazing. So I think I've bought 15 loaded drums of molasses. I could have got away with 3, except I had to move the tub. So $60, and I've done the roof, the bonnet. Did I do the bonnet? Yeah, the bonnet. Roof, bonnet, 2 doors. So I do the back panel, grills, front panel, door, top of the door, door frames, window frames. Man, it's the cheapest thing. I'm so glad I've come across it. I sprayed in this tub, so when I'm finished I can put it back in the bottle and reuse it. This is just the, I think it's sulfuric acid. So it leaves a sulfur coating, which means, or they say, you don't have to paint it for 30 days, but I'll paint it the next few days. I just like to put this on, then I'll rinse it off with the water again. Then we're just coming into winter here, so things are taking a little bit longer to dry. But give it a few days and all in the seam will all dry out. Then I've been putting that pour 15, just pour it in here and running it around, just sort of shape the panel to fill the seam and seal it. I don't think I can't see how any rust can come back. Then just prime the outside and then do the panel beating, which I don't show many videos of the panel beating because there's a lot better ones than me, Arthur Tusick and other guys, but I'm slow, I'm painful panel beating. But I get a result, but it just takes, I don't know, I was going to say 5 times, so it's probably 10 times longer. So yeah, once again, just let that soaking for, I think they say minimum of 10 minutes, I'll just leave it for 20 or so. I've done the other panels there, I'll rinse them off now. That's it. I don't think there's anything left in the molasses. I'll tell you what is left in there, and that's the smell. That hasn't gone. So now I'm just going to put the fuel tank in, just like weigh it down somehow. So I don't really want the molasses to go inside the fuel tank, because I think the fuel tanks are coated. Inside with something to stop them from rusting, and that tank inside is really good. It's got a tiny little bit of, it had a little bit of varnish, you know, from the old fuel, and I just WD-40'd it and got in there with a little brush, and the inside of the tank is fine. It's just the outside, and it's only half of it, so it won't go fully into the molasses, but the rusty part will, I hope. The thing is to stop it from floating. Right. I'll be right. Couple of bricks on top. She'll be right. Okay, fuel tank's in there. We'll have a look at it in a week's time. So that's the 3 panels out of the molasses bath.